Welcome to today's collective reading. The energy today feels like change. Lots of shifts, some healing, possibly even in other areas of change such as moving, career, business, abundance, coping and adapting with all this change, and owning setting these boundaries with energies that want to work with you or want to understand what makes you different. Setting boundaries to protect your energy. Let's see what is in the placement of Earth today. So what is solid, what is stable, what is consistent? What you are observing. Yeah, that's kind of fitting there. So it's definitely that vibe of almost like a psychic vampire aspect where they take from you because they want to have what you have or to be you, but it's whenever you begin to build yourself up, to heal, to recenter, to find your momentum, this energy will come to you and you have the choice as to whether or not you allow it to take from you now. You're owning that. You're standing in your power to reject this energy when it comes to you. Because it won't stop coming as long as you continue to feed it. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not allowed to get angry or to be frustrated. It's more, do you allow it to even exist in your reality? If you're aware of it on a psychic, energetic, vibe, telepathic level, you can 100% reject it in multiple timelines. Sometimes you might find yourself doing this in multiple different ways through dreams, memories. You've been building and building and building your awareness of this too. You have been very focused on freeing yourself of this. And you have acquired all the tools necessary to do this. You do have the power to bring all the elements. You have the will, the desire, the feelings, the emotions, the love, the compassion for yourself and the situation. And you know the truth. You know that love is the only thing that is true. And that the abundance, the ability resides within you. So if you are currently in this position or this is about to occur for you, know that you have the ability to make it so this energy doesn't get to be a part of your reality anymore. You simply, it's not simple, it's been a long journey. You simply just accept that you've done everything you can. You've been kind, you've been compassionate, you've been empathetic, and you have to protect your energy. And, you know, in the receptive energies, you're also, you know, you've been watching this, nurturing this. There could also be other energies, be it, you know, soul tribe. It could be individuals that you know in life and you're interacting with their higher selves, or they're 3D aware, consciously aware that they're nurturing the awareness that you do have this ability, the strength, helping you have these lessons come to light. So you're receptive to this help, to this aid, to divine intervention. And you've risen above this dark place. You can see it for the illusion that it is, and that all it takes is for you to speak it, to own it, and to know that, you know, you've really done everything that you could to be of love and light in this situation. There's a little bit, just like in the yin-yang symbol, there's a splash of white in the dark, and there's a splash of dark in the light. And in this situation, you've done light, a lot of light, and you've now owned, or are about to own, that you can really just shut this part down, because this energy vampire will not stop coming. Either you will force it to, or it will succeed. And why would you want to manifest that? You don't need to. It doesn't have any power. You do not give it. So why give it the power to do so? It needs you to agree. And if you don't agree, it can't do anything. Also, there is a karmic cost for coming towards you in this way. So this is a receptivity to that divine intervention. The divine is stepping in and making sure that justice is done, even if you don't know it, even if you can't see it. The faith that is occurring, even when you're frustrated and you're not necessarily feeling like you're having faith, you are. You are on a very deep level. The very acknowledgement of the frustration is, in a way, affirming that you have faith. Ooh, came out quick. Okay. For the element of air, to know. Know, knowledge, awareness, consciousness, choice. And this dancing of, light and dark energy, it's to begin to know that there are always two sides to every coin. There's always two sides. Not always is it, good or bad. Really, like, to get to this point where you've had to just really do this very strong, firm rejection of this vampiric energy. You've had moments where you've allowed yourself to really feel the joy, the excitement, the fun, but you are longing for healing. You're longing for a period where you can really just sink into enjoying this experience now. And this energy vampire aspect, it really needed to be removed in order for you to begin to really own the joy of this journey of learning and transformation, of dancing from the awareness of what's in love and light energy, and also what could be in the shadow aspect that can be transmuted and is not necessarily, like, your shadow self is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, it could be a very loving place within yourself. It's a lot of healing to be experienced there. It's not necessarily bad or malicious. And to see that reflected in others, but to be unaffected in an essence of it, it can't attach to you if you don't agree to be attached to it. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to empathize, to see and understand. See and to understand is not an agreement to attach. So you get to really just enjoy leaving little seeds of light without bringing the malicious darkness with you as you go, and not leaving these seeds of light, which are really divine, the divine working through you. They're not your personal energy. It's divine planting seeds wherever you go, behind you. To find a balance at this time is something that is going to be encouraged to be a focus. Rhythms, to dance, to allow yourself to rest, to not feel like you're stuck in fight or flight. It's either all good or all bad. To dance in between and know that you can be aware of all the different ways in which it's a bit of everything to varying degrees. My mother, she's an artist. She would talk about it as shades of gray. Different amounts of the white that you add to the black and the different amounts of the black that you add to the white adjust the darkness of the gray that is created. And for each individual, different aspects of their world are going to be in different mixes, different pigment levels, if you will, of white or black paint mix, like on a painting palette to achieve. And you can adjust this. You can add a bit more. You can take of either color to adjust the darkness of the gray or the lightness. It's always a balancing act. Always a balancing act. And you get better at, with it in time, and what used to really bother you and trouble you and stress you, you become more efficient because you know more about yourself and how you respond, and you become more confident in how you'll handle different stressors, if you will, different levels of, one extreme or the other. In the receptive energy, we have you're open to action, divine intervention, to a balanced divine intervention that understands this dynamic and sees where you are, and that you're ready to just enjoy this at this point because you've rejected that energy vampire aspect. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but I'll mention this. I try to mention this in every reading. I do not like to use divine masculine, divine feminine, or masculine energy, feminine energy in my readings. I prefer to use assertive and receptive. I do this because we have assertive and receptive energy within us, and it is mirrored outside of us in the world around us, and how we interact with it. It mirrors what we put out. Removing the gender label of it allows you to see yourself in others and the messages coming through to apply directly to you, and then you could begin to see them in the dynamics and situations around you without attaching a gender to the energy, because we all have different levels of this. Like, as a female, I could be very assertive, but to say I'm being very masculine can be somewhat subconsciously triggering. And by removing that subconscious trigger, you receive the message in a clearer fashion because you're not having that trigger. Or for a masculine to be in a very receptive energy, to have that statement be said, you're in a very feminine state, can be very triggering as well. So it removes that aspect to it to allow us to see what we all have in common instead of like a polarity, really. So with this dancing in between these energies now, it's going to become something that you're aware you're not alone in. You're aware that love and light is like able to come in a lot more intensely because this darker vampiric energy is, you've rejected it from your reality. So there's more space for love and light to come in a very assertive way. You're really going to know that this lighter, fresh breeze of air and energy is present. You're receptive to this, which means it will likely come in. When you're manifesting, wherever you are receptive and you leave a void, the universe will fill this. And there's a lot of abundance here, even if it's in soul experience and not necessarily physical, be it, money, family, whatnot in the 3D, it's definitely something that you have unlocked in the soul. And it's coming into the 3D. So you should be able to begin to see more 3D positive influence. And to know this, to look forward to it, to anticipate it, aids it in coming into your reality even more in the physical. Now for the element of fire, which is going to be your will, your passion, your desire, what's being transmuted, transformed, what you are putting your energy towards for change, be it projects or relationships, dynamics, business. Okay. So in this placement, we have it's somewhat of a Queen of Swords energy, but it's also part of two worlds, where you're part of 5D, you're part of 3D, but you're not just one or the other. So you're a bit of a shapeshifter in this, and you're balancing this constantly. You're getting better and better and better at this. You've been willing for this. You've been willing for this empowerment within self so that you could reject this vampiric energy and do so with confidence that you have done everything you could to approach the situation with compassion and kindness and empathy and really give this energy every chance you could to choose a different path. And then you just had to protect yourself, because when you're at risk, when you're unbalanced, when you're not happy, you effectively create more of that in your environment, because what happens inside us is reflected outside us. So you became aware that you were not the only one paying a energetic cost for this, and it kind of lit a fuel under you, a fire under you, a fuel under you. It lit the fuel on fire under you. So it charged you to see that this was something that was, somewhat at the beginning of this, when you became aware of this, it was probably something that felt pretty intimidating, possibly a bit scary. But now you see that it's something that you have the power to overcome if you own that it does not have power. And you're balanced in that. Between all of the elements, you are balanced in that focus. You want that happy future. And if that is what you want, that vampiric energy cannot be a part of your future. So it has to stay in your past. And you definitely assertively laid down that boundary. And that's because you were able to grow in your awareness of the 5D and the 3D simultaneously to see really how much it was restricting your ability to move forward towards what you want and what you need, and that it wasn't only about you. There were other energies, others that you care for, that were being held back as long as you were not able to see this connection and own your power, because you are very powerful. So when all the elements present within you come together on the same goal, that you become the fifth element, really. You become the mixture of all of the elements, and you create. You do still have somewhat of a challenge yet to move forward into, but this is understandable. We are living, life is a series of lessons, a series of challenges. So you know that this challenge is before you, and to not look at it like it's this horrible thing that you have to do now, and it's such a burden. Maybe to look at it like, finally, I get to come to this challenge because I'm done with that challenge. I'm very relieved I'm done with that challenge. So this challenge is not where your energy is being taken from you and you're left tired and exhausted and unsure as to why nothing has momentum. And every time you start to get a bit stronger, something comes in and just saps you dry. The challenge has to do with your relationship with money, with abundance of the physical reality. You value loyalty. There's no question you value loyalty, honesty, respect, all of those things, honor, they go into a loyal partnership agreement. It's not even just between, people. It can be between, you and your pet even. These are things that you value. So the abundance, it's based also, like your kind of your hang up on it is to do with the trusting of the other elements as to why money is so important to them, why your money is so important to them. I would encourage you to try to see it from their perspective, be it a female or a male. They will have a different focus, be them, grandmother, mother, grandfather, father, a young man just starting out, a young woman just beginning her career. They'll have a different way of relating to their abundance, their money. To try to be in their shoes and observe what money provides them. If they have children, if they have an adult that's dependent upon them, if they feel responsible to care for others, that's another layer to abundance in the 3D. So whatever is being mirrored back to you is telling you something about your own relationship with abundance. So you can learn a lot about yourself from observing the dynamics present in those around you when it comes to their money and how they manage it and what their priorities are and why they make the decisions that they make, if you're even privy to that. It'll help you understand possibly what could need some change within you, but you could benefit from nurturing a little more light in your relationship to abundance in the physical reality. Does money buy you happiness? No, money doesn't buy happiness. The real abundance is in love. It's all based in love. However, if you're always late on your bills, you don't have enough money for food, you're always stressed that last week before you get paid, these things will add stresses and strains to the environment that can affect the love present within it. So there's always a balance that's being sought here, and it's encouraged to kind of spend some time meditating on how you want to change your relationship with money and why and how you want to go about doing so, and then also leaving some space for the divine to assist in filling in these voids in what you're calling in, to allow the divine to work with you. Moving into the element of water, which is feelings, emotions, intuition, your awareness of the connection to others through emotion, the mirroring of the emotion they're experiencing, becoming something that you experience. There are many different pathways, many different decisions that you could have chosen to take at different times. And on these paths, you would have been walking hand in hand with sometimes the same energies, but they would have been making different decisions, so on and so forth. The butterfly effect, really. So you could have an awareness that your intuition tells you, hey, that path is going to lead to a future I don't want to experience. Let's go down this pathway. Let's choose to go right here at this fork in the road, or to create a whole new path, a whole new co-creation that maybe this other energy couldn't necessarily see or create because they have a unique relationship with divine, unique from you. Maybe they're a little more dominant in their shadow side and you're more in the light. Maybe you're a little more in your shadow side. You're aware of a bit more of what goes bump in the night, but you are connected to divine. You do know what is true north. And as you've come to these crossroads, what have you learned? It'd be worthwhile to ask, to reflect and ask yourself these questions about your personal journey and what you've chosen to bring with you on your path and why. Okay, I was beginning to wonder when these would come out. At times, it was a very cold decision. This is based upon logic only. There's no heart involved, no emotion, no intuition. Shut down this emotion. This path is better for 3D-based reasons. Sometimes this shutdown was necessary in order to cope with the emotions of not choosing the other path. Definitely awareness that there may be at every path that wasn't chosen, there was a broken heart. There was something that you couldn't bring with you that was vital, that you must have. And there's probably an aspect of heartbreak no matter what you would do, but whether or not it was something that could be healed. In the assertive energy aspect of this situation, you are encouraged to own that you are on this place on your journey, because you can heal this broken heart. You are not alone. And that all the decisions that led you here were made in order to be at the place on your path where your heart could heal. To learn from what you could perceive as your failures. To look at everything that's happened that didn't quite work out just the way you wanted it to, and learn or observe or make note of why, so you could bring that information into your future and not repeat the same exact thing. There has not been a experience of being willing to make this leap of faith at this point, because that broken heart space could very muchly be what brought you, or what you're right now experiencing, depending on where you are in this rejecting of the vampiric energy. You could have been in that broken heart just before you did this rejection, or you can be still experiencing this after this rejection of this energy. You feel such a heavy heart, so much longing and so much disappointment for so much that you don't understand, which is why the leap of faith is something that came into play. Because you were beginning to very muchly feel as though you're not so sure this is something you should be leaping towards. But the divine is present. The divine is holding you aloft. It's not letting you float away into the sky. It's keeping you grounded, so you can make that leap and fall into creation, into your future that you have been able to co-create, that you have manifested. All right. So can I just get 3 cards and a crossing card to summarize for the collective? Kind of where to go, any kind of advice moving forward. Is there any insight that we can get here? Specifically more from the divine aspect, as the elements have all come in and been able to give their perspective of what has created this current moment in the collective state. What would the divine like the collective to know? Wants to speak to what the outcome is. Okay. Balanced and determined movement forward. You're focused, and you have a very fierce energy behind you. You've come this far. Why stop now? Why turn back? Why go backwards? You have every reason to continue forward on this adventure that you have been very much invested in for some time. You're free of this vampiric energy. You're beginning to open and heal to the concept of enjoying this experience because you're free of that energy. It's an invitation to really examine your relationship with 3D abundance, and not from like a greed standpoint, but from a spiritual heart, internal, introspective perspective as to what really is the dynamic present as to why you have this relationship, and you're open to learning from your failures, and your pain is something that is acknowledged, as well as that it can be healed. What is, ooh, okay. How is this going to say what is the most likely outcome? And the Sun card came out. It's absolutely beautiful. There may be a child involved, be it, a child that you already love and cherish, or a child that could be coming in, or a new beginning, a new life, something beautiful and bright. It could also be your inner child getting to really come out and dance in the sun again, be silly. As children, we see the world from a very different perspective. Anything is possible and everything is fascinating. Is there anything else that you wish the collective to know at this time? Do one more round here. If nothing comes, then the answer would likely be no. That you are determined, you are moving forward, you are balanced, you are focused on this new beginning. Oh, I got 2 here. Okay, so this is something that you will overcome. Definitely. As long as you stay focused on where you're going, knowing that this is where you're going to be healing that relationship, that dynamic that is unnecessary to be there within yourself, in your relationship to abundance. And you want this new beginning. So you're going to take that leap. You're going to take that leap in faith that you can trust your intuition to know where true north is. And true north, when I say that, it's love is the only thing that's real. If it makes your energy expand and you become excited and you're anticipating the next moment, you're excited about it, that is divine right there. That is love. That is love leading you right where you're supposed to go. If it makes you constrict that energy, no. If it makes you feel like you need to put up some boundaries, hold back a bit, that's not true north. That's not where you're supposed to go. However, there are some people in this energy, just like you tried with this vampiric energy, to show them, to teach them, to allow the divine to move through you, to assist them. But that energy was just not going to stop. That energy was not receptive. And that is on that energy. And you don't have to try to force that. With the earth element reading, go back and listen to what I said there about how you, wherever you go, there's little seeds of the divine energy that moves through you that are left behind. They're not your personal energy. It's not your personal energy. It is the divine moving through you to spread light. So that concludes the reading for today. I do hope that you guys found some clarification of your own intuition, some validation, some peace, some awareness that you're not alone in this. There are a lot of other people that are going through this particular situation, and that as one of us moves forward and learns, more and more of us begin to move forward and learn, and there is movement. So know that whatever this energy is, you have the power to reject it, to not have it in your energy. If you're in that state, I am so excited for you to be free of this, because you can be. you can be. Thank you very much, and namaste.